Hi, my name is Radostina. I'm from Bulgaria and I'm doing my master's in human resources and organizations, and I'm doing the HRM stream. Welcome to my student journey. Before I came to LSE, I did my bachelor's in another institution in London, and my background is in business management. When I did that, I actually found really interesting the people aspect of my program, and in my last year, I did an elective course in human resource management. In addition, I also did a few internships, one of them in recruitment and another one in service management. And then this last summer, I worked as a research assistant in my previous university, which really inspired me to do a PhD. So the HR program is really interesting. A lot of people tend to think of HR as though it's a very boring, kind of monotonous part of the business, but I see it as a very, very crucial part, and that was partly why I decided to do it, to be honest. I think that people are a central part of the success of any organization, and there is more that could be done in terms of developing them and really attracting and retaining these best people. And the HR program is doing exactly that. It really mixes up studies of sociology, psychology, and many different disciplines together. A great element of the program is that on top of it, we also do a CIPD qualification. It's a certificate we get on top of our degree, and it would mean that as an HR professional, I would know what the practical aspect is, as opposed to just theoretical concepts and not necessarily knowing how to apply them, which I think is great. As part of the CIPD journey, I also get to reflect a lot and do a lot of different extracurricular stuff, such as networking events and really focusing on my own development. So my LSE journey really started before Michaelmas term. Back in June, we had a pre-sessional event with a lot of drinks and food, where we got to see the academics and some of the past students. This was a very useful experience because I knew what I should expect, essentially. The first week of the term, this was Welcome Week, which is something that everyone's looking forward to. And during that, I got to sign myself up for a lot of societies and clubs and just experience different things that I haven't necessarily tried. One of the coolest things we did in our Welcome Week on the HRO program was an icebreaker called Scavenger Hunt, which was running around London and clicking a lot of different pictures, and that was great fun. The first few weeks at LSE were really busy, and I quickly realized that I have to be really organized to stay on top of things. Over the first few weeks, I tried to arrange meetings with a lot of the seminar teachers and just touch base and see what their expectations are from an LSE student, what they think a distinction should look like, a distinction essay or a distinction exam. And that really helped me to sort of organize my term and my objectives. One of the highlights of this term was definitely week 6, which at LSE is known as Reading Week, or at least for the HRO students. So that meant I had to spend a lot of long hours working, but I actually enjoyed that because it was the first time I got to sit down and write an essay in full. Before that, I read a lot of academic theories and try to apply them in class, but it's not necessarily the same experience as getting to apply them and organize your own thoughts into some sort of a coherent argument. So later on in week 8, when it got to feedback, I got some quite positive feedback. I was told by my professor that my essay had some really critical thinking in it and evidence of originality, which is something that LSE is all about. As part of the HRO program, we get to do a lot of practical things as well, which is great. One of them was doing a consulting project, and this is really meant to develop our consultancy skills in terms of finding academic theory and applying that back to real issues. And that was good fun because we got to work in groups, and also because we got to see a very different perspective and how when you apply theory, you don't necessarily expose that to the board of directors, for instance. The Department of Management is doing a lot for HRO students. We have all sorts of events organized for us. For example, last night we had a Meet the Sponsors event, which is tightly linked to the thesis we have to complete next term. And we got all sorts of different projects and different people coming to talk to us about their challenges in HR as well as career services. So, for example, they would tailor your CV and help you with advice on application processes. At the same time, invite all the big companies such as Bain, McKinsey, and all the big consultancies and help you build relationships with them, which is crucial when you then start looking for a job. On top of that, I also try to do my own networking. So last month, I went to this really cool event in East London in a co-working space, and I met a lot of tech companies which are kind of trying to attract a lot of women to their workforce, which is an issue even from an HR perspective, and a lot of companies are struggling with. So it was really good to see that perspective and see that a lot of the big companies are trying to attract women. An interesting aspect of LSE is that everyone works really hard and we all realize that we have to take a break sometimes. So I think the balance is really important. And I do try to do a lot of these things. For instance, recently we organized a cinema visit with a couple of my friends from uni, which to be honest took a lot of organizing because we all are quite busy. On top of that, we also have the department organizing a lot of social events. We had a Christmas social, which was in a nearby pub, and we got to network in a more informal environment. We also had some of the teachers there, which was great. Last year I realized I really wanted to do a PhD, and I thought that LSE would really help me in my journey to accomplish that. At the moment, what I'm involved in is, first of all, publishing my BA thesis, which has proved to be very challenging, but it's also a great opportunity to just develop my writing and my critical thinking. And at the same time, I also found this very great opportunity at LSE. I'm currently working at the Behavioral Research Lab as an assistant, and I'm kind of hosting an experiment that's on brain activity and how your brain activity changes when you do challenging tasks, which is very interesting. While I did my undergrad in London and I got to know a lot about the city, I still find that there are a lot of little things you can always find, especially around LSE, since it's such a great area. Holborn and Covent Garden are really nice places to just walk around and find your own spots. As the seasons change, London doesn't, so I get to see a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different things during each and every season, which is something that I love, and I try to make the most of it, to be honest. Lent-term is going to be very exciting and very interesting. I'm really looking forward to doing my dissertation next term. As I said, I really love research, so I think that developing my own topic and kind of collecting data, talking to people, is something that I really enjoy. At the same time, I do realize that's going to be very challenging. I'm yet to find out who my supervisor is going to be, and also to find a company to work with. I think that's probably going to be the biggest challenge, just finding a company. It's not always easy, but I definitely think that having the LSE name on your CV helps. Thank you for following my journey, and I'll hopefully see you next term.